exact number of people who will benefit from CAA are...
So you cannot look at Hinduism like the way you look at other religions.
Who is an Indian citizen?
Jai Shri Ram.
Who is an Indian citizen?
That anyone who's been living in India is a citizen of India.
Jai Shri Ram.
Just saying Jai Shri Ram.
That's more than enough.
The exact number of people who will benefit from CAA are... Yes.
Hindus, right?
Because Amit Shah wanted to make sure he could stay here as well.
Is Akshay Kumar an Indian citizen? Yes.
He's not an Indian citizen.
Why do you say that?
Wasn't he born in India? Doesn't that make him an Indian?
He hasn't shown his papers yet.
What connects Kanhaiya Kumar and Gully Boy?
Azadi.
और आज ही सब्सक्राइब कीजिए Southbay.Live